Welcome, everybody, to the Calling All Platforms Tech podcast. My name is Wes, and I'll be your host this evening or day or whenever you're listening. I'm going to be your host this episode. There we go. That's what I'll say. I am here with the man, the myth, the legend, Spen Love.
Howdy.
I am also here with Never Pays for Late Pizza, Landon.
Oh, yeah.
I've worked on those names for 2 weeks now.
Shut up.
Anywho, we're just a couple of guys here that love technology. Obviously, we are fathers, and we don't have lots of money in technology, but we love to talk about it, review it, and we just figure we put together this podcast so we can share our thoughts and our views, and if we can, help others to learn of this technology, whether it's good or bad, too expensive or too cheap.
Yes.
Both are true. There is such a thing as too cheap.
Yes.
There's far too little products in that mid-range.
Right?
Yes.
It's just really unfortunate.
Which we will get into a little later on. Too expensive, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. And I think today we're going to start with some Apple news. So, Spen Love, take it over.
All right. I wanted to actually start out tonight by pointing out that I've discovered today that if I have a motherboard and RAM and CPU to go with it, I have enough random crap sitting in my basement to build a functioning computer out of that. Just power supplies and keyboards, mice, monitors, hookups, a front panel with a power button and indicator lights on it, and USB hookups for some reason, just floating. Anyways, that was quite the realization to me that I could, aside from a case, put together a completely functional computer out of just, random stuff I have sitting around in my basement.
Do you have a random operating system?
Linux, yeah.
Oh, that's, yeah. Well, okay. True.
It's not on an actual hard drive, on a thumbstick that you can just plug in and boot off of. So difficult to do any real work on it, but you could access the internet with it if you needed to.
How decent of a computer is it? Just
depends
browsing?
on the motherboard and processor that you give me, but
I thought you had it.
Well, I mean, I do now
because
I'm building a computer with them, but I just got the motherboard in the mail today, and I had the RAM from last Saturday, and I was all like, oh, do I have enough stuff to power this thing up and make sure that the motherboard is working? Because it came with bent socket pins on the processor that I had to straighten out because I bought the thing for like $20 on eBay, which is not something that I would recommend for any of our listeners to do. Don't. It's a bad idea unless you really know what you're doing. But it was quite the experience.
And want to lose $20.
Right, yes.
Even worse than the stock market,
right.
I mean.
There's a greater than 50% chance that I was going to be totally out $20 after all of this. But no, I managed to straighten the pins out, put the processor on the thing, and then gather together enough crap that I could boot the thing up to the BIOS and check, and the processor was there, it was registered, and everything seemed just fine.
And
so,
that is a great story. Because most stories don't end in a happy fairy tale.
No.
Because since we're on this tangent, I have to say this. Because the other day I saw a guy got ripped off for a Nintendo Switch, and what had someone done is took regular NES controllers, duct taped it to a tablet, and then sent it in a box. And a guy paid premium price for it.
Wow.
On eBay.
Gosh. Yep.
So just
got to be careful with eBay. Like I said, if you don't really know what you're doing, not a great idea. But if you do really know what you're doing, even still, greater than 50% chance I was not going to be able to make this motherboard work. So, it's not great. But if you are cash strapped and you really just have to try and get a computer running, there's worse things you could do with your $20.
It is true.
Light it on fire. That would be worse. Anyways,
throw it out the window.
Only barely.
Right, only barely. Like I said, I'm really lucky this worked out as well as it did.
Okay.
But just wanted to get that out there. I have so much crap that, build a functioning computer out of random garbage I've got lying around. Okay, Apple, which is the opposite of functioning computer out of random garbage you've got lying around.
Kind of. I mean, they do recycle.
They do. It's never random garbage, though, because
it's true.
Their garbage is all highly customized, believe me. Oh, my gosh. Anyways.
It's very well picked through to put back onto devices.
True.
Okay. So I'm going to start with a bit of a downer. Apple's last plastic Mac is now completely unsupported, and that includes in Turkey and California, which get an extra 2 years of hardware support past what everyone else gets. So that was the MacBook, the white unibody plastic MacBook. Was
the one that I have.
Is
Except
yours
mine was
the unibody?
unsupported.
I don't think yours is a unibody, is it? I thought...
I
think yours is the generation before
that.
Mine. Yeah. From the same generation as the black ones.
Yeah, yep. Mine was unsupported long time ago.
Right, yeah. So the unibody white plastic MacBook, they stopped selling that in 2011, and so 5 years from 2011 is when they cut off support for most of the world, and then 2 years after that, so 7 years, is when they cut off support in Turkey and California because of local laws that have been passed in those places that mean they get an extra 2 years of support. So it'd be nice if everyone else could pass that legislation. So it's no longer supported, and that is it for all hardware support for any plastic Macs that Apple made. Now everything since then is aluminum. So there it is.
Well, there you go.
End of an era.
A plastic Mac, you better change it up. Otherwise, no support.
The internet forums, though, are just rampant with people praising those laptops. Like the past couple of days, just like, these things are amazing. I still use mine every day for this purpose and that kind of thing. And, the longevity of the hardware is really impressive. And they were really good computers. Like, they lasted a really long time. Were great for students and that kind of thing. So, and they also kind of, like, this marks the end of my favorite era of Apple's hardware design. Like, I really like all their aluminum stuff that they sell now. It looks great, feels really great, very premium. That's all nice. But the translucent plastic era in the 2000s, that was my favorite.
Okay, I gotta mention something. I that you said translucent, Max. I saw on a local classifieds page online, someone was selling one of the old, like, brightly colored,
G3 iMacs. Yeah, good
and
stuff.
It was really nice and stuff. But in the description, I wish I could contact this person and tell them they're stupid.
You legitimately could.
Well, not very easily, and I probably wouldn't get a response. But anyways, they had in this description that this was an 1980s Mac. I'm like, if that's a 1980s Mac, one, it's worth a whole lot more than what you're charging or you're asking for. And two, it wouldn't look anything like that.
No, those were all
like
beige.
Premium.
It's either going to be like circuit board basically on a piece of wood or a beige piece of plastic that you can't see into.
Yep.
And that's none of those options.
Yep. Oh,
wow.
man.
Anytime I see those older Macs, I believe it's the iMac that you're saying. It was that standalone, really fluorescent, like see-through tower. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Every time I see those, I think of the movie Zoolander.
Yes.
Every time I see that. The reason why is because have you seen Zoolander?
I haven't, honestly.
You really haven't?
Yeah.
Well, there's okay. I'm going to go into this. So there's a part where, so the premise is Zoolander. He's a model and he's retarded. Like,
right.
That's
I do know that much.
Okay, good. Well, he's being this secret agent where he's got to go in and he's got to get files from the computer, and he's talking on the walkie-talkie, and he's like, they're like sitting there trying to figure out. I don't know how to turn it on because they're models and they don't use computers, and it's an iMac, and the lady or a guy, someone on the walkie-talkie is like, hey, the files are in the computer. And they're like, oh, okay. So they basically throw the computer to break it to open it.
Where'd the files go?
The files are gone. They're not there. But every time you guys say that iMac is that, I think go back to that Zoolander.
Nice.
So, that's where I know iMac from. I thought it was pretty good, though.
Yep. That's good stuff. But yeah, that was the first computer. The G3 iMac was the first computer of my favorite era of Apple design.
That was the first computer fully designed by Johnny Ive.
Yes.
Was that also the first one? Was Jobs back?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, so now that's all. The plastic era is officially over in Turkey and California. It was over 2 years ago for the rest of us. Okay, so another thing that happened this past week was, actually, I'm going to talk about something that happened the week before that, because reasons. Sonny Dixon tweeted about Apple supposedly releasing a smart home Siri-enabled speaker with Bluetooth, Beats Audio, and yada yada. Basically, the Google Home or whatever for Apple. Said that could be announced as early as WWDC at the beginning of June. We were all a little skeptical because that came on Twitter, and Sonny Dixon is usually pretty reliable, but sometimes we're like, are you crazy? But then KGI securities analyst Ming-Chi Kuo came out, said that there's a better than 50% chance that he was basically right. So look forward to potentially getting an Apple version of the Google Home in June, I guess. Or probably not getting it in June, probably getting it in September, but getting an announcement in June. We'll see. I don't really care. Like, everyone has been for years like, oh, Apple needs to do this if they want to compete. And I'm like, I mean, okay, they can. I probably won't buy one. Like, I haven't been tempted by any of the current batch of options that are out there. So I can't imagine what they would bring to the table that would make it compelling. So we'll see.
There's a lot of people that also think this is just going to be an updated Apple TV.
That could be too.
Which I think would be more functional.
Yes.
And would make it better than the Echo or the Google Home.
Yep.
Because, the added functionality of having it connect to your TV and just work that way, would be awfully convenient.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy extra devices.
And might actually support 4K now. Hey.
Hey.
That would be nice.
Hey-o.
I don't actually have a 4K TV, so I don't care. But, there's lots of people that do.
Like Landon.
Yes.
I love my TV.
It does look good. You got it for cheap, too.
Yep. $430. Oh, yeah.
Okay. There's a couple of iPhone rumors that came out of this past week. We've got some really questionable rumors floating around that we are going to be getting only 2 iPhones instead of the 3 rumored iPhones. Just the new fancy iPhone and then a larger version of the new fancy iPhone. Instead of a new fancy iPhone and then a 7S and 7S Plus. I'm skeptical of those rumors at best. I think they're probably straight up false.
Should we always be skeptical of rumors? That's the thing.
Well,
though.
yeah, but I am much more skeptical of these rumors than I am of some of the other ones. This one seems really, really unsupported. Just random. So I doubt that's true. There's also a lot of rumors, just compounding more and more again, and this time from the, I'm mispronouncing this, I know, Nikkei Asian Review, which is a website that covers technology in China. They're suggesting that the delays on the new iPhone X or Edition or 8 or whatever are going to push it back into 2018 before it's released. Seems kind of crazy, especially considering we also got a market analyst claiming from JP Morgan Chase that in a report that we might actually see the announcement of this new fancy iPhone at WWDC with a release date in early September. Both of those seem insane to me. I think more likely is the rumor that we're going to get the thing announced at the same time as usual in September. It'll be released at the end of September, maybe early October, the same as usual, and then it'll just be extremely hard to get a hold of one for the next couple of months. But that's kind of where we're standing at.
Just
all the
like
rumors,
any other iPhone.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Exactly. All of the rumors right now basically just say this thing is coming and might be delayed a little bit. I think that's the most likely case, that, mostly it'll just be supply constrained. Okay, one last thing from Apple. They had their second quarter earnings call this past week, which is always super exciting. Basically, everything is wonderful. Services are up a ton and their new stuff is selling well.
Basically,
they're
doing okay.
It's an earnings call. They're not going to say anything bad.
We're
they made
still
money.
making money.
They did better this year than they did last year. Okay, whatever. But I think the most interesting thing to me is that their total cash stockpile of just money that they have sitting in the bank is up to $256.8 billion.
What
which
bank?
I
was just wondering.
Many banks.
I was gonna say
all of the banks.
Gonna say, wow, that's
probably not in the U.S.
Yeah,
right. No, they actually have very little in the U.S.
Probably not. Yeah,
it's like $60 billion or something like that in the U.S. and then they've got more than 200 overseas.
That is crazy.
So the most interesting thing to me about that is enough money I like to compare this to things that, like people can actually relate to.
Yes.
So 256.8 billion is enough to launch 1 3/4 space stations into orbit. The International Space Station to date has cost 150 billion total from all the countries that have paid into building that thing.
Could you imagine an Apple space station?
Yeah, well, 1 3/4 Apple space
They
stations.
basically have one. They're building one. It's their new campus.
That's
You're
true.
right.
That
we
is
don't
true.
know that thing won't lift off.
That is
We don't
actually
know
going
that.
to lift off. That's what's going to happen. You're either with us or against us. See ya, planet Earth.
Yep.
That is
So,
crazy awesome.
There you go. Apple has crap tons of money, and they continue to make crap tons of money. I think one of the funniest things one of the funniest things Tim Cook does in these events, these earnings calls, is he talks about how different parts of Apple relate to like Fortune 500 companies and that kind of thing. And so like last year sometime he's all like, yeah, our services division is making enough profit to be a Fortune 500 company, almost a Fortune 100 company, meaning it is in the top 100 like most profitable companies in the world by itself, just their services division. And
that definitely makes it sound amazing.
Right? And so he's basically said the same thing about the Apple Watch or their wearables business, which includes the Apple Watch and the AirPods and Beats headphones.
Well, yeah, you know how much those things cost?
Exactly.
Like,
they do not cost that much to make.
I was going to say.
Especially
like,
Beats headphones.
There's profit in that. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
of course it is.
Yeah. So basically, their wearables market is a Fortune 500 company by Tim Cook's definition. It's just really funny to hear him say stuff like that because those numbers are so easy to interpret in so many different ways. And if you look at them in just the right light, maybe he's right, but
it's okay.
I don't know.
Do they do the same thing Microsoft does? Is like Microsoft, for example, they'll be like, "Oh, our Xbox sales are up 30% from last year." And last year they said they're up from 10, but they never gave a number. All you know is percentages.
Yep.
It's like, okay, I don't know. It sounds good.
Well, Apple loves to do they do actually announce units shipped with the iPhone, but that's like
there you go.
it. And with everything else, like they're just like it's up this many percent over last quarter or over the year ago quarter. And if you follow it back through all of their earnings calls to when they first introduced that thing and then look at shipping estimates for that point, then you can figure it out. You can do the math, but that's obviously a whole lot of work and most people don't do that. I don't know.
There's a lot of work.
Earnings calls for companies like this are just always really funny to me. But yes, Apple could launch 1 3/4 space stations into orbit, and wouldn't that be fun? Last quarter,
I would even go. Like, that would be legit.
Yeah. Last quarter, they could have bought the U.S. Navy's entire fleet of aircraft carriers.
Wow.
They're up a little bit more than that
Just
now.
a little more. Yeah. That would be kind of interesting because once Apple would start building this, then all of a sudden Microsoft they would be Google. And then once theirs is up, Microsoft would start building theirs.
Well, what it would be is Google and Apple would start at the same time. Google would release theirs with some bugs. Apple will come out a year later and it'll be better.
Right.
After Google's come out with the second iteration. Then Microsoft will, after Google and Apple have released it, like, oh, we should probably do that. And then a year after that.
And their batteries are better. Their battery life is better.
And then Elon Musk will just blow everyone out of the water with something 5 years later that's 100 times better.
And then Elon Musk
cheaper.
will reveal he's been building a moon base the entire time and
Death
wondering what
Star.
the heck everyone else is even doing.
We're going to call it Death Star.
And then BlackBerry will get around to removing the keywords from their phones. That's the next
I
step.
don't think so.
That's the
they
thing
have put
because they just
so
added
much-
one. We're going to talk about that later. But
They've put so much money into that keyboard. I don't.
We can
think
talk
they'll-
about it now because I am done with the Apple news. That's
Well, I wanted.
That is it.
Yeah, we can.
Oh,
I was going to say because Wes mentioned the Death Star.
Yes.
So we got to go back to movies now.
Yes.
I recently rewatched The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way. Still
so
love
awesome.
that movie. I realized though this time watching it how much I really I can't say dislike, but I'm extremely bugged by Finn, the character. He's
Why is
just
that?
really annoying.
was it the fact that he goes from being a stormtrooper who has trained his entire life with other stormtroopers to just mercilessly slaughtering all the stormtroopers, like without even any second thoughts about it, and kind of makes you question whether or not he's just completely psychologically unstable.
With that note, do you think that Caleb has thought about that
Maybe a little too much.
too much? 'Cause,
Probably true.
wow, that sounds very thorough.
Sources say yes.
No, that actually, I didn't think that exactly, but
now he
that
does.
adds to another reason why he bugs me. No, because the beginning of the movie, okay, well, a few minutes into the movie, obviously, he, like you said, gets away from being a stormtrooper, but he's so, like, the first half of the movie, he's, like, all scared and wants to get away and just a wuss, basically, and lying to everyone about everything. And then at the end of the movie, it almost seems like he tries to make up for it and, overdoes wanting to be cool and stuff like that, and it just looks fake, and he's trying really, really hard to hook up with Rey, and I don't know, the character just bugged the crap out of me, more than Kylo Ren.
Now, here's the question. Here's a big question. Is it more of how the character was portrayed, or do you just dislike the character? If it was played by someone else, do you think it would? You see what I'm saying?
I don't know enough about this actor to know that. I mean, or the character for that matter. We have
Gotcha.
I have to see what the next movie is like and how the character develops in that movie. If it's the actor, or if it's the writing, or what it is. But either way, it bugged me really, really bad.
Definitely see.
That's just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. I don't care.
That's awesome.
Anyways.
I barely remember The Force Awakens, if I'm honest. So,
was it so awesome that you just blacked out, or what?
No, it was directed by J.J. Abrams, and I have a hard time separating one thing that he does from another thing that he does. Like, they kind of all blend together in my head. It's weird. I'm not really sure what to make of it.
Are you combining universes?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It's the only movie I've seen that he's done.
You do know the Millennium Falcon is in Star Trek, right?
See, and I wouldn't know the difference.
It's
that's
at the very
problem.
beginning scene. It's right there, fighting alongside. Yep, I saw it. It was the first time I saw it, and what was really funny on top of that was I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, there's the Millennium Falcon," and I said it, to somebody, and they're like, "Dude, this is Star Trek," and it hit me. I'm like, "Whoa, this is Star Trek!" So and they're like, "I didn't see it." I'm like, it's the Millennium Falcon. It's one of those camera shots where it goes by real fast, but you can see it if you're looking and catch it. For some reason, I caught it, and I was just expecting. And I think it was the first Star Trek. It was the first one, so it was before Force Awakens. And,
right. And
J.J. Abrams does this with all his movies. He always puts little Easter eggs. Like if you look on the Millennium Falcon, you see the Batmobile, things like that.
Right.
So, yeah. Did you see it?
And now Landon's like, wait, where?
I need to go back and watch it again.
It's on there. It's one of the scenes. I think it's when Finn and Rey are in the Falcon being chased, and they're trying to figure out how to drive it. One of the times, I can't remember if it's when it tips up and in the blaster, shoots it, or it's one of the times where it moves, and when it sways, it's right next to the satellite, but it's the actual Batmobile sitting. It's the Dark Knight one.
The Tumbler?
Yeah, it's the Tumbler that's on
there. Huh.
I did notice this time. Now,
what?
I think I only noticed this partially because previous to watching this, I watched bits and pieces of A New Hope. It was on TV the other day, and I watched about 20, 30 minutes of that, and then I was like, ooh, I want to watch Force Awakens, so I switched. But I noticed when they're on the Millennium Falcon that Finn is just finding all sorts of random crap on the ship.
Did you?
And he pulls out the little ball that Luke is using to
what is this?
Learn how to use a lightsaber and stuff.
Did you miss that the first time?
I probably saw it, but I didn't think about it. But this time I was like, oh, hey, there's that.
Yeah. It's fun to watch those for Easter eggs. And I love everybody's gotten on the bandwagon of Easter eggs, even if it's like a cameo. It was amazing.
Speaking of cameos, I was just thinking, wait for Disney to buy Star Trek, and they're going to put Darth Vader in it somewhere.
I saw this.
Because that would happen. Disney is going to end up buying everything.
I saw this meme. It's
kind
really
of terrifying.
Funny. I saw this meme, and it was Mickey Mouse doing the pose with the lightsaber and has the white cloak on, and for A New Hope, and it was Mickey Mouse doing that, and it says, "How bad do you think Mickey's going to be upset when he finds out Minnie is his sister?"
Oh man,
Yep.
That's awesome.
I was like, That's worth sharing on Facebook. So I saved that one.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay, back
All right,
to
tangent.
tech news.
Tangent over for a minute. Awesome. Well, if that's all our Apple news, we're going to go over
Yes.
to
Google.
Google.
All right, speaking of how Apple is thinking about making a Siri home connected device thing, whatever, who knows. Google and Raspberry Pi have teamed up to make a DIY Google Home,
Oh.
basically.
That's cool.
Yeah, and what I can't remember exactly what it's kind of like a Google Cardboard. Like you just get this little kit, put it together, and Google has made it so you can use the Home or the Assistant SDK basically and put it onto a Raspberry Pi. Now, I think you can just, if you have random parts and a Raspberry Pi available, you can just do it that way, or you can buy this kit. I don't know how much the kit is, but either way, really
probably pretty cheap.
cool and affordable way to get a Google Home.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, yeah, because I mean, a Raspberry Pi board is like $30
yeah.
for the new, like the version 3.
And that's the one that they're pushing with this, obviously,
Okay,
is
yeah.
3.
Yeah. So then, I mean, what do you need? A microphone and speakers beyond that?
Yep. That's pretty much all you would need. Then
That's not
just
much.
put it in whatever you want to make it look good.
Yeah.
If you want it to look fancy.
Or just set it on your coffee table as a bare circuit board. Like, that's an option.
It is. And a lot of people would probably do it.
Yeah.
Seriously. Wow.
Screw it to the bottom of your coffee table as a bare circuit board. There you go.
Yeah. So that's a pretty cool little thing that Google and Raspberry Pi have done.
That's
That
neat.
is cool. Actually, that does bring up something. Can I mind if I interrupt real fast?
for
It's
it.
actually more security. So I had found out people are starting to make a business for charging stations. So you can charge your phone and everything. Well, what they have progressively have gotten to is it's a charging locker. So you can basically get a locker that has a port for your device. You plug it in, shut the locker, it locks, you can walk away, it'll charge, for however long, which when you think about it sounds really cool. That's really convenient. But one thing I would highly suggest is let's not do that.
Because that's a data port also.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. You got it. Because, okay, it doesn't take a lot once you plug your phone into a USB or whatever, how you plug your phone into. Now, like smartphones, obviously, is USB. It's not that hard from that connection to just pull your information, whether it's just a picture of something you snapped or got of some information. It's very easy to look at that. And so lots of times to run these stations, I have found out, is they have a computer at the back end to send out certain things, and that's very easy for people to either put a phone in from that USB, lock it for however many hours, and then just start copying information from everyone else's phone. That's an option. I'm just saying, it sounds like a really cool thing, but just bring your own charger.
Yeah.
And
Find an
I guess they
outlet.
found out it was being ran by a Raspberry Pi, so that's why I was making that connection. A Raspberry Pi, if you don't know, is not fruity and delicious. The actual food is, but the Raspberry Pi is a small computer about the size of a, if you will, a deck of cards. That's about how small it is. It has the USB ports, has all the ports it needs, and a power supply. Has everything in it, and you plug in a memory card, and it can store information. And that's what a lot of these were running on, these lockers. And it's very easy to get any kind of information if you do that. So if you're traveling, you see that, I would highly suggest just find a plug in the wall.
Yeah.
And go there, because that's probably 1,000 times safer than doing that. So I really wanted to bring that up because I saw that was happening. It was just an interesting thing I saw, and I was just like, holy cow, that's something I definitely want to be like, hey, just not do that. Please. By all means. Horrible. Anyway, but I just wanted to touch on that.
Thank you for that. That's always good to know about security things.
So,
speaking of security things, if you were somehow not on the internet during the week last week, you probably missed this. But there was a recent phishing scam that was related with Google Docs. Someone was sending out an email to millions of people. This wasn't one of those things that was just on tech news sites. This was on like regular news websites I saw it on.
Yes.
So this was big. But what it was you would get an email and there was a Google Doc link that they asked you to click on. And what it would do then is just basically get a hold of all your information that you have on your account.
Correct.
That same day, Google like disabled this link somehow or did something to make it so it wouldn't do anything. But now I don't know if this is going along with that or if they were planning on this anyways, but either way, Google has added phishing protection to Gmail, like built right into Gmail. And the way it works is if you click on the link, this is where it's really nice. If you click on the link, it will pop up with the thing that says this is potentially a phishing scam. Basically
Nice.
proceed with caution, I guess.
Nice. Okay, I'm clapping.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Like this is
that's good.
huge.
That is
That's
huge.
really good.
Like, because some of these things you can't tell what they are initially. It just looks like a normal link or something that you would click on every day, but
Jeez.
unless it's something like what you experienced a couple weeks ago with getting something from Apple that
Apple
when
Store.
you don't have an Apple account at all.
They're still sending me stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, Olga from Apple Store is trying to get a hold of me.
Oh, that's awfully nice of her.
Yeah.
I actually got something from the university that I went to that, well, not actually from the university, but said it was from the university. Dead giveaway for anything like this. You open it up, you're not sure where it came from. Look at the recipients list. If it includes
A
you
billion
and
people.
like a million other email addresses, it's not legitimate. No legitimate corporation puts a million email addresses on the to line. They put
Correct.
themselves on the to line, puts all of the recipients on the blind carbon copy line so that they can't see each other's email addresses because they don't want to distribute email addresses like that. It looked like they were all iCloud email addresses, actually. There was iCloud, .mac, and .me email addresses.
So anything
Those,
associated
yeah,
with an
those
Apple
are
account.
all Apple email addresses from like back in the early 2000s too,
Yeah.
some of them. So
Jeez.
somebody got a database of Apple email addresses hacked somewhere. I haven't heard anything from like tech sites about it being Apple. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that came from exactly, but that's something to check. Look at the recipients line. If there's a million email addresses there, it's not legitimate. Delete it
Yes.
and block the sender.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is going to be a really nice feature, I think, because like I said, if it looks like something that could be legit and you click on it, Google will tell you this is not good.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I might tell
Don't
my
go
mother-in-law to get a Google account just for that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the nice thing is
I have
the
problems
majority
with
of people do have a Google account or use Gmail as their primary email nowadays. So
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
it's nice that it's there. I'm hoping that other companies will see that and be like, oh, that's probably a good idea.
I think a lot.
Yeah, I
probably
hope
will.
so.
Yeah.
The only company I see not doing this is Yahoo because they don't care about security.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But if you still have a Yahoo account, then
you're kind of asking for it.
pretty much.
Yes.
So,
You have a point there.
speaking of, that was my first email was a Yahoo email, but I haven't used it in probably at least 10 years.
Ooh.
I kept getting emails to my backup email, which is my normal email now, saying you should go here so we don't delete your account. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Delete it.
Just
Go
delete
for
it.
it. It's all
Just
good.
delete it.
I rarely used it when I initially signed up for it. Why would I use it now?
I remember my Yahoo account, and I remember the name of it. And I don't remember if I closed it or if I just was like, hey, I'm done, whatever. I remember the name. It was Mech07 at Yahoo. Anyone can take that. I really don't care. It doesn't have any more information on there. You can take it if you want. But it was pretty funny. It was because of Mech Warrior. That old Mech Warrior game. I was like, yeah, that's going to sound cool. I don't remember what 07 was for, but I was like, yeah, Mech 07.
Yeah. My first email was also a Yahoo when I was like 8 years old
Yeah,
or
that's
something
probably
like
when I
that.
did mine. As
And
well.
it was Bellac1cars at yahoo.com.
And people can steal that one too.
Yeah, you
For the
can.
record.
Bellac is Caleb spelled backwards. I thought that was pretty awesome.
That is actually very clever.
When I was 8 years old. And I also liked cars, I guess. I don't really know what the heck was up with that.
Sorry, go ahead, Landon.
Yes, continue.
Yes, more news, please. We need to start a podcast of just random topics because obviously we're good at that.
We could. We legitimately probably could.
Yeah.
What we
It would shorten this one up by
Yes.
probably a lot.
What we could do is hit record as soon as we get here and just start talking, and then be like, okay, we better start, and then push stop, and then start recording. Like, we legitimately could do that.
Get this all out of the way before you guys have to hear it.
We could even do
Unless
bonus
you want to follow
content
both.
in case one of us doesn't able to make it, or, you know, we forget to push record.
We could just dub
plug
your
in
voice into the
Yeah.
latest episode. I like it.
Just take your bits out, just randomly insert you in as a tangent that makes no sense in the context of what we're talking about.
and then just continue. And people
Yeah.
will be like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
What the heck was that? I like this idea.
If you want a separate podcast of random off-the-wall topics, let us know. We'll
make
work
it
on
happen.
that.
Make it happen.
Anyways.
All right.
One cool little thing that Google has done, well, not Google, it's under Alphabet and it's Waze, technically. You can now have Mr. T direct you in Waze.
Oh, man.
And I think a while ago they put T-Pain, I believe, on there, and they added Mr. T, but now even you can add your own voice. You can direct yourself on Waze.
Interesting.
You can tell yourself
That
where
could
to go.
get really interesting.
It really could.
Especially if you're a voice impersonator.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Too bad I can't do that. But either way, it's pretty
Whatever.
cool.
I bet you could do a wicked Scooby-Doo.
No, I can't.
I think the audience wants to hear it.
Nope. Not even going to attempt that one. Sorry.
You could probably do a pretty good Kool-Aid Man.
No.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There it is.
Perfect.
Anyways, so that's a kind of a cool feature.
That is
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah,
actually.
you
I like it.
You just record your voice into the Waze app and set for certain commands like turn right, then you could say something different, I guess. I don't know.
See, that's something I would not tell somebody they had it. Like,
And then set it
And
up
then set
on
it
their,
up
own,
for
on
them.
their phone. That would be fantastic.
see, that would be amazing.
Legendary pranks.
Oh, that would be
Legendary.
awesome. You could make everything go backwards. So when they're supposed to go right, you say, turn left,
Oh,
make a
jeez.
U-turn, flip off the car next to you or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Give him the California hello.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Oh, the possibilities.
Oh, they're going through my head now. That'd be amazing. Or, even better. You could do different, like, NES sounds from games to turn right, so only you knew what it meant. So if you hear like a level up or something, like a mushroom, like you got a mushroom 1 up, it's like turn right. If you hear you die, you turn left or something.
I would say if you make a wrong turn, you die.
Yes. Would that be awesome?
That would be awesome.
Oh, the possibility. You know what you need to do now?
Download Waze and try this out.
Yes. I will help you.
That would be fantastic. Might have to do this.
Yes. White elephant gifts for Christmas. I got you a GPS, I promise.
I got you a really cheap smartphone with Waze.
Okay, back to news.
Back to news. Today, I think it was today or yesterday, a device was leaked coming from Amazon. It's a new Echo device, but this one has a touchscreen built into it. And this has been rumored for a while that they've been thinking about this. The picture that I saw, it was from at EvLeaks on Twitter. He's pretty reliable for the most part on almost everything that he puts out there. So you can kind of count this as something that's going to be happening. And the picture is probably legit too. What it looked like is kind of like it looked like a tablet, but it had like a base, and on the bottom of it was just a big speaker, and it stood up on its own, and then you could, obviously it was a touchscreen, and it showed different things on it. Like the picture on it looked like a lock screen with the time and the date, and it had the weather, and it had a little notification icon in the corner to show that you had something to look at, I guess. I don't know. But
Cool.
Is it just a Kindle tablet that's sitting on a speaker? Like,
honestly,
I mean,
probably.
That's basically all you need to do in order to make a smart home thing. You just put a nice mic on it, put a nice speaker on it, existing tablet.
Well, when you
There you
say
go.
it like that, I mean,
Well,
takes
that's,
away the
you know.
flair.
This is all built into one device, though.
All right, of course. So I
Of course.
couldn't replicate this by plugging a nice tablet into the USB port and then getting a nice Bluetooth speaker to set next to it.
Duct tape it to the
That's-
speaker.
It would cost you probably a lot more than this will.
What's the price?
Especially
Depends
'cause
on how
there's
nice
no
the
price
Bluetooth
yet.
speaker is.
Well, that's true. I mean, the Echo speakers are pretty decent.
They are pretty good for the money
I
you
mean,
pay. That's
yeah.
true.
And for the additional functionality of
Yep.
it. So,
Because Apple or Amazon basically sells all their stuff at cost. Like,
basically.
so
The fact
cheap.
that you can get a Fire tablet for like a 5-pack for $100 or something like that, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Christmas gifts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it looks pretty cool. I think the functionality of it would be far greater than just a regular Echo.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk at it. You can actually, touch it and do stuff that way.
Well, and that's something that, like, Apple executives have been saying for the past couple of years. Like, we think that, smart home assistants, something like Alexa in the Echo, yeah, that makes a certain amount of sense. It can be really useful, but we feel like there's a lot of interface that users still have with their screens, and the screen isn't going away. When you add the screen, then that brings a lot of functionality to the thing. And basically they were saying it because, like, look, you can activate Siri with your voice on your phone. Why would you need an Echo? And that now it kind of reads more to me like when they do release a thing, it might very well end up just having a screen on it. And we'll just get an iPad sitting on a Bluetooth speaker, pretty much.
I see it. It's going to be something similar to what Microsoft has talked about with their Home Hub.
Yeah.
Where you have a screen that works as like your calendar and everything that anybody can interact with. And that's what I think the best functionality could be is the more easily accessible accounts for different people.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Instead of just having to rely on voice, it's a lot. You can click on your own account rather than hope that it recognizes your voice and goes to your account.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yep. The last thing that I want to talk about, it was the BlackBerry Key 1. The reviews are coming out for this device, and from what I've heard and read is if you were a big-time BlackBerry fan, you need to buy this phone, basically.
Yes.
Like, everybody that owned BlackBerries and stuck with them forever until they needed a different smartphone,
and
loves this
by
phone.
that, congratulations, you guys have tenacity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of them.
There are. They're
Even in the tech world, like
diehards.
the one guy, his name known throughout the internet is Crackberry Kevin.
Yep.
If you know anything about BlackBerry, you know him.
Yes.
I mean, he's obsessed with BlackBerry, and he, up until recently, switched over to a regular smartphone because there wasn't a decent option from BlackBerry. But I listened to a podcast with him and Mr. Mobile from Mobile Nations, who is also a BlackBerry fan, and a couple other people that are big fans of BlackBerry talking about this device. They love it. And like the keyboard they say is really good. It's a little different than what previous iterations of BlackBerry keyboard were, but they still really like it. They've had to obviously get reused to using a physical keyboard. The biggest complaint is it's more difficult to type one-handed, which, duh.
Yeah.
And back then, everyone was used to typing with both thumbs.
Yep.
Because that was just the easiest way to do it. But the nice thing about it is you can have that touch, to know where you are on the keys, like which key you're touching, kind of.
Yeah.
Whereas that was always the downside to a on-screen keyboard and why people hated it initially.
Do you remember texting on the normal number pad? And you'd have to push
T9 or
the regular, and then you had to so you had your ABC on 2, so you had to go to get to B, you had to go 1, 2, and then
before T9.
Yeah, and you had to sit there. I remember people would do that while driving, but they wouldn't look. They just and do that, and I just was like, mind blown. Actually, I got used to it to where I was pretty good. I knew where things were going. And I recently, the other day, I pulled out an old phone and was messing with it. And I was like, oh, I wonder. And I was like, oh, my gosh, I can't do this.
Well, it's like one of my, an older DVD player that we have. If you want to search for something on it, it's
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
the-
functionality. I'm like, this is so awful. I
Yeah.
hate this.
So you start yelling at it like
Basically,
it'll respond to you. Oh,
doesn't.
since you say it like that.
yeah, no. But I want to go over this, just share the specs on this device. It's got a 4.5-inch 16 by 20 or 1620 by 1080 LCD screen with the keyboard on the bottom. So I mean, it looks like size-wise it's about the same as like an iPhone 7 Plus or a Pixel. You know, it's got the body of like a 5.5-inch display phone, but obviously smaller display because of the keyboard. It's got a Snapdragon 625, and the reason they use this processor wasn't because to make the phone cheaper. I mean, it is a little cheaper because of it, but they did it because of what Qualcomm did with this chip for battery life. Like this chip, any phone that has this, the battery generally is really good. The optimization on this chip just is awesome. I can't remember which Motorola phone. I think it's the Moto G has this same processor, and the battery life on that thing is fantastic. Like easily a day or more. This phone it's got a 3,500 milliamp hour battery with Quick Charge 3.0, and everyone is saying they get easily 2 days battery.
Wow.
Like they have to try to kill this in one day, and they can't.
That's amazing.
Like one of the guys, I can't remember
2 days.
who it was, but he was saying like he was outside, so 100, like the screen was at 100%, not on Wi-Fi, so it was constantly looking for Wi-Fi, but it wasn't on Wi-Fi.
Right.
And he was watching videos and doing all sorts of stuff, getting tons of notifications. And at the end of the day, he was only at like 45%, maybe.
Nice.
Like some of these guys are saying, at the end of the day, on fairly heavy use, they're at like 85 to 70% at lowest.
Nice.
Yeah. Like
That's,
they're getting easily 2 days of battery on this phone.
That's one thing from the past of cell phones I wouldn't mind having back.
Yeah. Yeah.
They must use Microsoft Edge.
Nope. They're definitely not using that.
Sorry. I have to laugh at myself and Microsoft. Just they're pushing that battery life, man.
Yeah.
Sorry. Little joke.
But other things this phone has, the main camera is 12 megapixel. Front camera is 8 megapixel, which is pretty good. And everyone is expecting this camera to not be very good at all. Like, you know, it's a $550 phone. It's BlackBerry. It's TCL. It's not, not the best hardware. But they're comparing it to just under what like the S8 or the iPhone or the Pixel cameras are, which are easily the 3 best cameras on the market.
Yeah.
Or
for
ever,
sure.
for that matter. And they're saying this isn't quite as good as that in most conditions, but just less than that.
Yeah, and most people probably wouldn't be able to really distinguish it anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And
Wow.
and the camera, the user interface, it has a manual mode, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So you can tweak things all you want, which is really cool. I wish more phones had that functionality.
Well, most do. You just have to download
I wish
a
most
special
stock
app for
most
it.
stock camera apps
Yeah.
had that functionality. I'll
Yeah.
say that. Because you can't download an app
Yeah.
and it'll work that way.
And they
But
usually cost like $10.
yep. But yeah, so pretty decent camera. It's got USB-C, has a fingerprint sensor in the space bar, which is interesting.
Oh, okay.
And from what I understand, it's really quick and really accurate. So that's always nice. Like,
that is nice.
they were comparing it to some of the Huawei phones, which have excellent
Right.
fingerprint
Yeah.
sensors on them. And then just a little extra functionality. Well, 2 little things that the phone has what's called a convenience key, and this is something that you can set to open up any app or any functionality of whatever. If you wanted to open Google Now, you can. If you wanted to open any Facebook, you can. If you wanted to send a text to somebody or whatever, it can do that. You can set it to do whatever you want, basically, which is kind of handy.
Right.
I wish more phones had that
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
Yes.
Which is one thing like a lot of people are complaining about with the Bixby button on the Galaxy S8. Samsung made it so you can't remap that app easily. You can, it's just not easily functional.
Yeah.
And Bixby is retarded, so they should open that back up.
Oh, geez.
And then another little thing is, I think it was Mr. Mobile pointed out that he found out deep in the settings, you can change one of the shift keys to work as a control key. So instead of having to like long press on a word and select it and then copy and paste, you can just do Control C and then Control P.
Nice.
Which is kind of cool.
That is actually really awesome.
That's sweet.
But again, it's deep in the settings. I don't know where exactly it is,
Right.
but you have to try and find it. But you can. Sorry about that. That was I forgot to turn my phone on silent. Anyways, you can remap one of these shift keys to work as a control key, which is really cool.
Nice.
Something that would kind of be pointless on an on-screen keyboard, but really cool on a physical keyboard.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
And that's, let's see, that's all the Google news I had. But yeah, BlackBerry Key 1 will be available on May 31st, so still have a little while before you can get it. You can pre-order it on the 18th, I think, for $550. In the U.S., it'll be available through Sprint, or you can buy it unlocked on BlackBerry's website.
So Sprint's going to be the main one they try and push through.
Mostly because they're just wanting something, probably, to get people to come. I don't know.
It's true. True.
So, but like I said, if you were a big-time BlackBerry user, or even if you weren't big-time but you liked that device, this would be a really good option.
You know what? I think everybody was that, because wasn't BlackBerry the first smartphone? So everybody was.
It was
on
the
that
most
for a
popular smartphone. I didn't actually have a BlackBerry. I had a Palm, which was a very similar device to the BlackBerry. It had a slightly different keyboard, but I mean, it was very similar. I never used a BlackBerry, but I'm sure I could go back to one of these if I wanted to. I don't know why I would, but I could.
Yeah, there you go. That's cool, though. I mean, definitely caters to that BlackBerry niche. So that's awesome.
And the other really nice thing with any BlackBerry phone is the security features.
Correct.
And that's something we've talked about a lot. The Priv was really good on security. This one is going to be just as good or better.
I think even the government, they still are preferring.
I think they recently switched to. Did they switch to iPhone?
Yeah,
like a couple years ago.
In a lot of places, they've switched over to iOS.
It was just recently, though. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of security and because BlackBerry stopped making phones.
Right. So now that BlackBerry is back with, security as one of their main focuses, I mean, I'm sure their security is probably as good as Apple's. It's
and
not
BlackBerry's not pushing this phone to be something for regular media consumption. Because of the weird screen, it's not a normal aspect ratio. It's a 3:2 aspect ratio. It's not great for games or videos. It can work. It's just not ideal, obviously.
Right.
Because games are made for taller screens. So this is just, they're pushing this for what BlackBerry was initially, for business people.
Yep.
People that want to work on their phones, and this is going to be a really good phone for that.
Yep.
And the other nice thing is, without having an on-screen keyboard, you get a lot more real estate when you need to type on something.
Yes.
Like, whereas before, it doesn't matter what size your screen was, half of it was taken up by a keyboard. This doesn't happen on this device. I mean, part of the device is taken up by a keyboard, but none of the screen is.
Right.
So
that's cool.
really cool. And the screen can be used as like a touch input. I believe you can swipe across it and it'll do different functionalities and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is kind of nice. So that's all I had
awesome.
in the Google news.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to change up a little bit today. We're actually going to do some gaming news because there might be just a little bit of Microsoft news. And Caleb right here just doesn't want to hear about it, so he's going to probably leave us early here.
That's not fair.
I'm just kidding. No, he's got a prior engagement. He may have to leave, too, so we're going to try and get as much out of him as we can. So,
oh, boy.
Let's do this.
Let's keep the lead pipes away.
Gaming news.
Yes, gaming. So this past week, Prey came out. And for those of you that aren't aware, Prey is a survival horror sci-fi game, kind of like a spiritual successor to the System Shock franchise. If you pretend that the BioShock franchise didn't happen, because that was also a spiritual successor. So it's System Shock, BioShock, a little bit of stuff like Dead Space thrown in there. That's basically what Prey is. And it is from the devs that brought you Dishonored, which, if you've never played Dishonored, I would recommend it. Like, the first game is easily the most objectively very well-made game that I don't like. It's just not my cup of tea, but
Yeah.
I played it, and I can tell you it's an excellent game. It was made very well, and they put a lot of thought into it. It's really good. I have no problem seeing why people liked it. I just didn't. So, Dishonored makers, and that means that they put a lot of focus onto the game being procedural instead of scripted, trying to allow players to find their own paths through the levels and their own routes to victory and that kind of thing. And evidently they did a really good job with it. All the reviews that are coming out so far say that it's really good. So if that's your thing, survival horror, sci-fi, procedurally generated, make your own choices type game, it looks like it's really good. To the extent where, like, everything in the level is interactive, which is really cool just in normal circumstances, but you can actually replenish health just by drinking from the drinking fountains that you find scattered around the space station that you're on. Every drink recovers 1 HP.
Sweet.
1. Which, so you just sit there and drink for a really long time, and you can get all the way back up to full health from wherever you are. You can also use the toilets in the game. It's not clear at this point whether or not there's a correlation between how much you drink and how often you have to use the toilet. But that would be really cool.
That is good information to know. Definitely.
If it's not in there now, that should be like a patch coming in the near future. So that's Prey. It's out this week. Looks really good. It's on like all of the platforms, I'm pretty sure. Is it on PC? I didn't actually check because, like I said, this kind of game isn't really my cup of tea.
I think it is.
But
I
I'm
think
pretty sure it's on all of the platforms.
I think I saw it on Steam, like an advertisement. I think.
Yeah. It's wouldn't surprise me. I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, Dishonored 2 was. So, if that's what you're interested in, by all means, check it out. Sounds like it's really good. Another thing that just announced yesterday, I believe it was, Saturday. It would have been Saturday. Quake Champions, which is the next entry in the venerable first-person shooter franchise of Quake, is coming soon, and they're going to be doing a technical beta for it starting on the 12th of this month, running through the 21st. And it's an open beta. So it's not like just, download it and play. I believe you do actually have to like sign up for the thing and wait for them to send you an invite, but they're planning on sending invites to everybody who signs up for it.
Yeah.
What they're trying to do, since it's a technical beta, they're just trying to stress test their servers and
find bugs.
All that stuff. Yeah, and just hammer out all the bugs. So it's bound to be incredibly buggy, but if you're at all interested in, the latest Quake entry, this would be a good chance to check out and see what they're all about right now, before the game actually comes out.
That's kind of cool. Do you know if it's coming to console or is it strictly PC?
Oh, I'm not sure. I would have to check on that.
That'd be interesting.
That was me being a PC gamer.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
Going,
yeah, that's
hey,
where
I
originally
can totally participate in that.
Originally, that comes from.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I may have some bad news though. So, as I've mentioned before, I was in the Sea of Thieves, the beta and everything. I haven't been able to get on, but because of work and when they have those tests, as PlayStations. Well, my wife, I put on the calendar that it was Saturday, this past Saturday. They extended the PlayStation. So, and my wife at the time, she was just able to hop on and play. And I thought it was really cool. Now, one of the things that they do mention to people is, hey, you're a part of this, test it, do whatever, but don't stream it.
Right.
My wife, without knowing this knowledge, streamed from my account to my Beam account, Sea of Thieves. I haven't seen any repercussions yet. So I may be kicked out of the beta. I don't know what that's going to do for me because it's a Microsoft place. It's rare, and so now I'm like, great. Am I gonna be blacklisted? Crap.
You can no longer play any of our games.
You can no longer.
You have
be
to
a
give your
Microsoft
Xbox
user.
back.
I told my wife that. I was like, just so you know this, and she just looks at me. She's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, well, you didn't know, so I can't be mad. But was it fun? She's like, yeah, it was cool. And she's like, I had a lot of fun. I died a lot, but it was fun.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, oh, I haven't. Like I said, I've been waiting for like Monday. I was like, I'm going to get an email but I haven't gotten it. I hopped on my Beam real fast and delete because it'll save some of your videos.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah. Delete. Get
Okay,
rid of
I
those.
didn't do anything
I
anyway.
don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah,
Well, keep us posted.
yeah, I know.
Okay, so the last thing I wanted to mention for PC gamers, GOG.com has got their weekly sale updated for this week, and there's some pretty good stuff in this go around actually. So they've got Dragon Age Origins, which
Wonderful game.
yes, I've not played, but I've heard excellent things about. Mirror's Edge is also on there.
I have not played.
I have heard excellent things about that game as well. I'm really tempted to buy that. And then Dead Space, the original one, and Crysis, both the first one and the sequel, are all on sale. So those are all like newer games. I think 2008 is when Crysis came out, or Dead Space, one of those two. And that's the oldest out of the game. So you're talking almost 10 years on those ones. So, when I say those are the newer entries in this sale, you'll know what's coming next. So older stuff, they've got like the entire Wing Commander series from like 1991 through 1999 or something like that.
Awesome.
There's like 8 games in that series or something like that. All of them on sale for dirt cheap. And the entire Ultima series as well. If you are a fan of the original, like the old Ultimas, like 1 through 6, you can buy 1 through 6 for like $2. Like, I kid you not, 6 games, $2. Now, they're really old games. GOG does come with a little bit of a guarantee that it will actually work on modern operating systems, but it means it will work on the computer they tested it on at their offices, which is not your computer. And,
buyer beware.
yeah, that's it. But super cheap stuff. Populous 1 and 2 are also on sale there, and those were the first real-time strategy games that I played, and they're so different than any RTS out there, and really entertaining. I thoroughly enjoyed them, and yeah, a couple bucks a piece. I may be picking up Populous 2. It was really good. So yes, those are the sales that I wanted to mention from the PC side of things.
Nice.
That's it for me.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, usually on Microsoft's end for deals, they usually get theirs posted on Tuesdays. So I will just have to continue updating the website with the deals with gold. So
Awesome.
I'll continue with that. So shall we, speaking of Microsoft, get into this event? Microsoft decided to have an event.
Just a little one.
Just a little. Wasn't too big. But it was actually, what the first thing that went through me, I was inspired. I don't know by what, but I was very inspired. The way they tried to sell it, I was just like, man, I really want to continue watching this. I just feel inspired. So I did.
Because that is what it took for you to keep
that's
watching.
that's
You
what it
didn't just
took.
want to keep watching.
No, just kidding. No. I just that was one thing.
You
If
were
I had to
thinking
say,
about stopping, you're like, oh, never mind.
yes, I was going to stop. No, just kidding. No, it was great. It was. I've really enjoyed Microsoft's presentations and how they present things, and sometimes they are a little more entertaining than
Yep, that's
Then-
definitely true.
the old CEO running around.
Oh,
out of
I don't
breath,
know. Steve Ballmer dancing onto the stage was always entertaining.
Sweating.
Speaking of Steve Ballmer,
Yes, sweating.
Let's bring
Oh,
him
man.
up.
so obviously he owns the Clippers now.
Does he?
Yes.
And our local sports team, the Utah Jazz, recently beat the Clippers in the playoffs. And my favorite,
Which is awesome.
It is awesome, but now they're sucking it up against Golden State Warriors, so that's a different.
Well,
that's
he's
a whole
besides
other
the
really
point.
surprised there.
story. Nobody's surprised.
I'm hoping.
Anyways,
I hope they at least win one game, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Just one.
well, tonight's their last chance.
I know. Oh.
Anyways, I kept seeing pictures and memes of Steve Ballmer whenever they would lose, and his face was fantastic. He was just like so sad.
Yeah.
And it's funny. There was one video it showed that he was just like so happy they were winning, and then it was the one where Joe Johnson, is that his name?
Yeah.
On the Jazz
Did
did the last minute or last second game winner. He was so excited they were winning, and then oh crap, they lost, and it was awesome.
That's awesome. I'll have to see that. I didn't see those memes.
It was great.
I'm gonna have
Anyways,
to check those out.
yeah, Steve Ballmer. He's if you don't know who Steve Ballmer is, I'm really sorry. Go look up just YouTube Steve Ballmer, and you're going to be entertained for hours.
Yes.
True.
Hours.
In fact, you could probably make up some even better memes. So we encourage it, please.
Please
Go
do
for it.
this.
Do this.
Go for it.
Anyway, back to Microsoft's news here. So one of the things I wanted to bring up on that Microsoft announced on their conference they did was Microsoft is bringing code writing to Minecraft Education Edition. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't realize how dominant Minecraft was in education, but
It's
after they
huge.
were talking about it and stuff, and so my school probably could never afford this stuff that I went to, so they couldn't afford the stuff, actually the higher end stuff back in the day. Anyway, go back to that, but I'm just like, I didn't realize how this type of technology is being pushed into schools and how much it's relevant in schools. And like they were talking about it, on top of this, because this was a big education event, obviously. And so I thought it was really cool. It's something that I actually wanted to check out, having Minecraft, because they actually will. Let me see right here. It says the Microsoft will launch Minecraft Education Edition on and updates that includes command blocks, additional languages, texture packs, supporting villager trading, all this stuff, but it's in code form. So you can start coding things to put it together. And I thought it was really cool. And for the qualifying purchases of Windows 10 computers and tablets, it will include a free 1-year subscription to it. So it's a subscription on there, and these devices must be purchased, obviously, for a K-12 school that will offer. And the offer will be redeemable starting in July. So they're kind of pushing, obviously, to start buying these things, the Windows 10 devices for it. But I thought it was pretty cool that they're using Minecraft for not just. My thought was when someone's like, "Oh, we're learning Minecraft," I'm like, "Oh, they're probably learning about metals, what to mix, and that." But it's actually like with the coding. And on the display, what they talked about was it could show you. So you're like, oh, I want to start putting things together. So you'd bring up a code and you start actually saying, okay, putting in the code for it, and that it'd actually start automating what to do in the LAN. And I thought that was actually pretty cool. So you can start setting up your own type of things there. So just amazing how dominant Minecraft has been with that.
I've never actually done anything with Minecraft. Like, it initially didn't really interest me that much, but the more and more I learn about it and what Microsoft has done with it the past couple of years, it's really cool. Like, just so many different applications you can use it with, you know?
Yeah, it is crazy. And that's one thing they're talking about on there, and I was it's not something that I was excited for, but it was just impressive, that Minecraft has, from where it's been to now.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really cool.
And I love what tech companies in general, especially Apple, Google, and Microsoft, all are pushing really hard to get coding into schools.
Yeah.
And making it easy for kids and students to learn this. Like Apple has done on the iPad, you can download. It's basically a game that teaches you how to code.
Yeah.
And Google has made a lot of tutorials really simple and easy to understand for coding. And now this with Minecraft, it's making coding fun for these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just going to make the future of technology that much better, getting these kids started at a younger age. Like, I know a lot of kids that are in elementary school or just starting high school and stuff that are really getting into this. And the stuff that they have available to them is way better than anything we had as kids.
Oh yeah.
By far.
I mean, just technology in general is way better, but the accessibility they have to get it is just so much easier. It's so much cheaper. And
in my school, we had barely computers that ran Microsoft Word.
We had Oregon Trail.
I had a Windows 3.1 machine that had Quick Basic installed on it.
Sick.
That was legit.
But so it's cool, and I guess that's why I also talk about this inspired. I was just really inspired and really like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't realize a lot of things, as they were saying, was happening, and I mean, they said it's in hundreds of countries, lots of places. People, they use this stuff in the classroom today.
Yep.
And so I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then I guess they had a bunch of teachers at the conference that were using this, and all of them were like, yay! So it was kind of like, oh, okay, that happened. But the next thing, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Windows 10 Cloud. Oh, wait, I mean S.
Basically the same.
And nobody can figure out what S stands for.
stupid. No, I'm just kidding.
I wasn't going to say it. It wasn't me.
I left it open.
Wes was looking right at Landon.
I was too. I'm like,
I was like, I'm not going to do it.
I was
I'm not
waiting
gonna
for
do
it. Oh, that's
Can't
awesome.
bait me into that one.
That's awesome. No.
Nobody was saying it. I had to say it.
They just can't come out like, oh, so they're like, oh, one presenter came out and was like, this is the soul of, Windows. Or then the next person come out, this is the security. And so they just did a bunch of words that started with S that were, security and super and awesome.
Yeah.
This is another good reason why Steve Ballmer's not there, because he probably would have said the sexy version of Windows.
Oh, geez.
Stupid like
gosh. Yeah, he would have.
Oh, jeez. Let's not go there.
Yep, I
Okay.
can see it now. In
I
fact.
did,
Yeah,
actually,
I know,
right
I'm
there.
picturing it in my head.
Oh,
This
man.
is awful. Just a sweaty Steve Ballmer
Speaking-
up there dancing around. Sexy
Speaking-
Windows, sexy Windows.
Speaking of sexy memes, I guess. Anyway, so
This is
so
taking an
Windows
awful turn.
10s. See, I can laugh at this. See, this is calling all platforms. We laugh at each other.
Yep.
Anyway, Windows 10s. What is it? Okay, Windows 10s. What it is it is a form of Windows 10 that you can only install applications through the Windows Store that have been through Microsoft's I can't remember what they called it, but they're quality insured process through there. Now, I know that, is it Chromebook that does this same thing? I could be wrong. Is it Chromebook that does kind of that similar thing? Or which one was? I can't remember.
I mean, this operating system is made to compete with Chrome OS.
Is that okay?
Yes, and obviously the reasoning they're doing this is because Chrome OS and Chromebooks are extremely popular in the education system right now.
Right.
Because they're cheap and they're easy to use, and because they're relatively secure because of different things like that.
Right.
It's like you can't download just anything onto these devices, and because if a school district or the school itself is set up with the G Suite apps, then these can be easily monitored.
Correct.
And pretty well.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of schools are using them, and it's really nice. And Microsoft obviously wants to compete with that by making a more secure version of the operating system that you can only download from the Windows Store. The downside I see to this is there's just not not tons of apps yet still on the Windows Store. And granted, it's up to developers, obviously. This was always the downside to Windows Phone. It's just developers weren't making apps. It's not hard.
No,
they just have to basically switch some few things in their code and make it available in the App Store.
Yeah, Microsoft came out and with a it's not Continuum. Oh, I cannot remember the name, but it starts with a C. But anyway, basically this program they made makes it to where it just wraps your app in the shell of this so that it can be on the Windows Store. And I cannot remember the name
they
of
did
that
it
program.
a couple years ago, and
Yeah.
nobody's
really used it.
Well,
which is
they're
really
taking off with
unfortunate.
it now.
Right.
They really are. That's one thing that they really push, and they're like, okay, we understand not a lot of people are making UWP apps, but this gives you an option to just say, hey, I want to make this a UWP, and you use this program that starts with a C, and for some reason I can't think of it, brings it over so it'll come up on the Windows Store. And that's what they're hoping with this people will do. Now, to go back to say what this is. So if you try to open a file or someone sends you a file to open something, it will scan the file to open it, and if you can't open it with something in the Windows Store, then it won't open. It says, sorry, you can't open this unless you want to upgrade to Windows 10 Pro. So that is the next step. So you can do whatever you want. It could be a normal Windows. So thoughts on this? I think Windows is going to see they'll sell this. I think is kind of for data mining to see if people really want this, and if they want it, awesome. And if they're going to get a lot of data to see who actually uses this or who upgrades and gets the Pro. And so I see great things. I mean, it's a great, wonderful security thing because if you just can't open these fishy emails, you can't open stuff because it's got to go through the Windows 10 Store. So, yeah, it's got definitely great perks, great things for it, but you can only use items in the Windows 10 Store, which we've talked about before. There aren't a lot of items in the store comparative to all the other types of app stores.
Right.
So iTunes,
Now,
yada yada.
I get like the market they're going for again is education.
Right.
And for this market, I could see this being a really nice thing
Yes.
because of the security and because you can't just download anything. You can give this to a kid and they're not going to be able to totally screw it up initially.
Correct.
But I can't remember where I was going with that. But like the downside is like obviously as like us, it wouldn't be useful at all. And
outside of a computer lab at a school, it doesn't make nearly as much sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Chromebook. Like that's like the biggest use case for a Chromebook is all like, this is great for like a mobile computer lab at a high school. Like that's perfect. This thing was made for that. And that's kind of what Windows 10 S feels like.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to replace stuff at home, but at the same time, I say that, and yet the stuff with the App Store, the stuff with the sandboxing, all the security features they talk about are the same things that limit the functionality of iPads. And yet, there are loads of people that can replace their daily computing with an iPad.
Correct.
Well, even with Chromebooks, I mean, it's gotten more and more popular out of the education system. This is still education, but I still recommend it to the average college student because it's a cheap laptop and it'll do everything they need it to. It's an internet-based computer.
Right.
And that's pretty much what anybody needs a computer for nowadays.
Yeah, it is. And so things I can see obviously is for the college student. It could also be for a child. And the reason why I also say that is also because the science that I've been doing on with our family plan that we talked about on previous podcasts of stuff I wanted to look at is I can actually, so on the previous podcast I talked about was the option to have your family's accounts, so your email accounts all together, and I talked about that I can actually share my device to my family to make sure it's running correctly. And one thing I looked at, I was like, okay, I want to see all the devices that I'm on, my wife's on, and all this, and it'll actually show all the devices they're on. It'll show the antivirus is running correctly. It'll say it's updated. It'll actually say everything is up to date with viruses, or not up to date with viruses, antiviruses.
This has the latest virus.
But it'll actually tell you. It'll actually say, hey, this has a malware thing on this file. It'll actually go through on that, and it will actually talk about that. So that gives you the option to kind of monitor that. You can be like, oh, they did this. And actually with all the different things, like I can set it up to tell me exactly everything they're doing. Or on this certain device, they can only do this, or this certain device, they only have enough time to do this. And so it's a lot of, I think they're just trying to complement a lot of what they've set up with even the family and implement that into the school education, which sounds like what Chromebook has done already. And that's what they want. They've always been a big part of it in schools. And now that Chromebook took a big chunk of that, now they're like, oh, I guess we better do something.
Yeah.
So overall, this is probably more for the schools. This is probably more for, things like that. Maybe even a child if you're wanting to get just a small little thing for a child. So it wouldn't be too bad. So the next thing that we're going to look at on there is this super duper awesome Surface laptop. Sorry, I just wanted to build suspense and make it so super awesome.
Something like that.
Yeah, a little suspense. Anyway, so the Surface
you
laptop.
gotta try anything you can to make this thing sound awesome.
Hey, they did. They did a wonderful job. They really they brought out. Oh crap! I even forgot his name again. The one that debuted the Surface Studio with him. I can't remember his name, but yeah, they brought him back out to do this, and he did the same thing on just really trying to sell, like, this is amazing, this is creative, this is what you want. And they also talked about battery life, believe it or not. So you actually can get, I believe it was 14 hours of battery life instead of the 10 that Chromebooks.
It's pretty good.
So that was pretty good. Yeah.
Well, considering certain things on this device, I would hope so.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, let's go through it. Let's go through what is actually on this here new Surface tablet, and then we'll kind of talk about uses on there. So first thing on the Surface, I'm sorry, not tablet, laptop, I apologize. So on the laptop here, they had announced, I mean, it looks premium to the max.
It looks amazing.
I mean, it looks amazing.
It's a very beautiful device.
Yes, it is absolutely awesome. So let's talk about spec-wise. So they have you can customize this pretty well. So if we go to the low end, the cheapest low end, what you're looking at, obviously, is an Intel Core i5 processor with 4 gigs of RAM and just the regular Intel graphics, the 620. And the color you can get for this is platinum. And that's the only color for that.
Yeah.
And
It's really
that,
too bad because I really like the burgundy color. Or the blue one's really
yeah,
cool.
it looks great. They all look great.
Yeah.
And so what is it? And so let's talk about what that is. So at this price point, we're looking at $1,000 for this.
And this comes built in with Windows 10 S, not Pro, S.
Correct.
Which is, to me, odd. I'll just put it that way.
Well, if people are buying it, if they do like it, awesome. If not, you get the free upgrade.
True. Yeah, we got to say that you can upgrade to Windows 10 Pro free for a year. After that, it's $50.
And just in case I didn't describe it earlier, Windows 10 Pro gives you the ability to do whatever you want. You can open whatever app. You don't have to just go through the Windows Store.
Yeah,
for
that'll
your
give you the
apps.
Win32 apps.
Yes. And, yeah, everything else.
So normal functionality of Windows, basically.
Correct.
Yeah.
Normal functionality. And after 1 year, if you haven't upgraded and want to do after 1 year, it'll cost you $50 to do that upgrade, just so you're aware. So what does this do for someone that wants to buy this? I mean, it's really hard to really say, hey, college students, because obviously you don't want to pay $1,000 for these specs. I mean, it looks phenomenal, but
Yeah.
the specs for this, I mean, if you're doing, even if you're just doing Microsoft Word or whatever, Google Docs, whatever, I mean, you can just buy
So
something
you can't
cheaper.
even do Google Docs.
Oh, that's true, unless you upgrade. But I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can through the Edge browser because
That is-
technically
yeah.
they are internet cloud-based
You
software.
have to use Edge
things.
browser to get to Google Docs.
You
That's
have
awesome.
to use Edge browser. You can't download other browsers because they're not in the Windows Store.
Yet, or if maybe,
I'd
I'm
be
gonna say yeah.
shocked if Firefox or Chrome put their browsers in
I
the
would be
store.
too, but you never know.
Yeah.
You never
It's
know.
true. It is possible.
I mean, they got Spotify. That was one thing they did talk about, that Spotify is going to be a UWP app.
How much did they pay Spotify to do that?
I don't know, but it was in the whole thing.
In the presentation?
The presentation. There was a big. Oh look, we have Spotify, which they didn't say anything about Groove, but Spotify. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's cool. I've used Spotify before. I've done it, but yeah, nothing on Groove, which I was upset. I'm like, guys, family plan on Groove, please. Anyway,
Come on.
Anyway, so let's continue on. So if you want just a little beefier type of computer, you still want the next one up. The next for the price range is $1,299, $1,299, and that gives you more storage space. Doubles it to 256, gives you 8 gigs of RAM, and you can actually choose your different colors: burgundy, platinum, cobalt, blue, graphite, gold.
And now this is probably the one that they're going to be marketing the most, and probably what most people are going to buy if they buy this laptop.
Yeah, because they don't just want platinum; they want that color.
Yeah, they want the color, they want the extra storage, and does this have a i7 option?
This
Price range, or
this
is that
price range.
another-
I'm getting to you. I'm doing the
Okay,
i5s right now.
Okay.
So with the i5, so that's mid class. I mean, it's not bad specs by all
Right,
means.
yeah,
It's
no.
really, it's not trash. It's not garbage. It's in the middle, and obviously with game mode and with all these things that they've implemented into this, they've really pushed to where Windows 10 will help push your hardware to perform to the max with this. By all means, it's not going to be trash or anything, but what we're saying is this is like premium. This is stuff that Microsoft is making, and I mean, this is kind of Microsoft's thing of saying, hey, this is our Apple products. Like, this is premium stuff. So that's why it's expensive for these types of things. So let's get into the Intel Core i7. So the first one here for the i7, you're looking about $1,599. And that's just to upgrade everything I said before, the 256 gigs of space, 8 gigs of RAM. You can upgrade the processor to an i7 from there, and it's that $1,599. And this one, you can only get platinum.
Ugh.
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
Yes. Yes. But, and then if you decide, you're like, I kind of want just the best bang, I'm not going to say for your buck,
Nope.
but the best bang, I'll just say that, for $2,199. Whew. 512 gigabytes of SSD storage. Not bad.
Definitely not bad.
16 gigabytes of RAM.
Not bad.
And the i7 core, the Core i7 graphics. They call it with the Iris Plus graphics 640. And the color you can get into this is platinum.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal stuff, but for that price,
$2,200.
It's really hard to say who would pay for this other than just people that have lots of money that want to look good.
Basically.
I love Microsoft. I love what they're doing, but I don't see myself buying this at all.
And, like, these specs aside, I mean, those specs aren't bad.
They're not.
For the price. Even, like, I still have a hard time with the low end being $1,000 for 4 gigs
Yes.
of RAM and the built-in operating system that is limited. The thing I have the hardest time with is the outside specs. This has one USB-A port.
Yes.
No USB-C,
Yes.
which still, like, I get they're saying they didn't put USB-C in it because it's not the most popular yet.
Right.
But why not future-proof this device? Throw one on there, even like just one, maybe two, and like one of those 2 USB-A ports or something.
No, I agree.
Yeah, it's like at $1,000. I personally would much rather buy a Surface Pro and have way more functionality.
Yes.
Way more functionality.
It is true.
Like this device, it's got a touchscreen, right? Like you can use the pen on it and stuff. It doesn't come with the pen like the Surface devices do.
Now, with the dial, and also the Surface dial, it works with the dial limitedly.
Right.
Like
the
you
dial
can't,
has to be on the desk.
Correct, not
you can't
the
put
screen.
it on the screen.
Yeah, like
but everything that I've read so far is people that have tried using the pen on this device hate using the pen on this
I've heard
because
it too.
it's not
It's
a convertible laptop. It's
Exactly.
not like it's not the traditional 2-in-1 that you're used to seeing nowadays that folds in half basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a normal laptop that has pen functionality, which it doesn't make sense to me.
I was also listening to another podcast with Mary Jo Foley, and she said that she was there and they had her test it out. Well, she put it on her lap, and she noticed that it was top heavy, so it started to go and fall off.
Which is interesting because I understand why, like, if you have a Surface Pro with a keyboard cover and stuff, that's going to be top heavy because it's all on the screen. It's a tablet.
All there.
And same with the Surface Book. Most of the power is in the screen.
Correct.
It's going to be top heavy. This one, there's no reason it should be top heavy. No reason whatsoever.
Oh.
Everything should be in the base, and yet it's still top heavy.
Yes. So okay, what is this? If you take a step back and we get away from the negative and we try and be like, okay, let's take a look at this. One thing that Microsoft has done and talked to other PC companies, they're like, hey, let's bring back and revitalize the PC. Let's bring it back. Now, this is also coming from a couple articles I've read and things that actually make sense. It sounds like Microsoft wanted to bring this out to show that people can do it, and then they basically want others like Dell and everyone else to make even better. Take this and push it further. Make it better, which can include the USB-C, can include all these other things, and that would be great.
Yeah,
I mean,
and this is what Microsoft has done with the Surface line in anyways. Like all the Surface devices have basically just been a reference device for other companies.
That
like,
is
here's
correct.
what you can do. This is our version of it. People can buy it if they want, but we want you, manufacturers, to make your own version.
Correct.
Make it better, make it cheaper. We don't care what you do. Just this is what you can do with our software.
Right. And hardware.
And hardware, exactly. And that's what they're doing with this. I have a really hard time with the price.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the premium hardware on it looks really good. It's all metal. The keyboard has this weird like fabric stuff on top, which looks really good. I'm kind of concerned about cleaning it.
Dirty fingers.
I mean, they do have the same type cover for the Surface from what I understand.
Yeah.
You can get one like this.
Yep.
I've yet to use one. The keys themselves are still the plastic chiclet regular
Yep.
keys. It's just everything around the keys and the touchpad is this weird fabric material, like soft feel. I don't know. It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks good and it feels good. I haven't personally felt the fabric, obviously, because it just came out and no one's.
Right.
But it looks good, and like I said, it's just premium. That's
Yeah.
what it is. I mean,
Yeah. But yeah, for what you get, the base price with the Core i5, which is better than any Chromebook minus the new Samsung Pro
Correct.
Chromebook, but that costs $500.
now
And
and
comes
this,
with a Core. That might only be a Core i3. Might be able to get a Core i5, but the Core i5, which again better,
yes.
but 4 gigs of RAM, not great. One USB-A port, definitely not great.
yeah,
And the dumbed down version of Windows 10.
yeah,
Granted, again, free upgrade you can get,
true.
which I would immediately do if I got this.
Yeah,
And I would
with that
recommend to
premium
anybody
price.
just immediately update for free.
Yeah.
Because why not? But yeah, I still have a really hard time at $1,000 for
It is.
this.
It is very hard. But like I said, that's. We'll see what happens. I mean,
I'm sure people will buy it.
people that have bought the studio, the Surface Studio, at first, they bought it to. A lot of people obviously buy it to review it. Now are like, I just can't not use it.
Yeah.
After they upgraded the speed of the hard drive, obviously,
Right.
they're just like, it's like perfect for what we need.
Right.
So-
But that's a very niche market.
Correct.
This is trying to be a very broad market for this device, is what they're going, kind of.
Kind of. I think this is the
I mean,
premium of the broad market.
Yeah, I mean, they're going for the education space with the software,
Correct.
but they're obviously not going for the education space with the price.
No.
And again, this is one of those, it's a Surface, so it's to be expected that it's just a reference device. And I believe it was the same day or a couple days later, different companies, Acer, Asus, Dell, have come out with devices running Windows 10s. Like they've announced these
Yes.
devices that are in that Chromebook price range of $200, $250, like $300,
Yep.
And that's where this is going to be beneficial for Microsoft.
Right.
Putting this operating system onto those devices is where it's going to hurt Google the most.
Yeah. Yeah. And just
This
try and
is
get that
not-
market back.
Yeah. The Surface laptop is not going to hurt Google in any way, shape, or form. They're probably perfectly fine with the price because, again, $100 for what it is, I think is too much.
Yeah.
And if you get one, I would not go for that one. I would get the one up at $1,200, but
Yeah.
I still think it's too much for one USB port.
But but here's the different thing. There's actually more customizing than that. You can actually, I went to the website and actually showed, so you can customize and be like, I want the i5 and only
Right.
4 gigs of RAM, but I want a lot of space. So you can increase the space and do that. So there's that
Yeah.
much customization.
Yeah.
So
It's similar to what Apple's done with all their MacBooks.
Right.
You can customize the crap out of those.
right. So that's basically what they're doing. So for normal people, I don't think this is. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest it. I really
Yeah.
wouldn't. So
Yeah, I have a hard time trying to think of any type of market that I would recommend this for. Because again, I would just say if you're looking for a Surface device in this price range, buy the Surface Pro.
yeah,
Because you get more functionality, not necessarily more portability because it's basically the same size,
yeah,
but you get a lot more functionality, you get more ports, you get much easier functionality with the pen
yes,
if you're looking for that,
yeah, doing a lot with that. Yes, you get more.
and more power generally too.
So yeah, it's hard, and I mean the thing is very lightweight.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah, it's ridiculously light.
it is premium. That's the thing, that it's premium. So anyway, but that's what kind of our thoughts on that. That's what we've looked at and done some research and looked at. And so as of right now, just kind of hang tight, wait to see what other PC companies are coming out with, and they'll come out with their own versions that could be better. I'm assuming better with better bang for your buck on that. So
Yep.
And of course they also had talked about a couple other things in there, but nothing as relevant as those that I felt a need to mention on there for average consumers on there. So But we'll definitely. They did announce that they were having another thing over in China, I believe it was, that they were doing another presentation of something. I haven't really looked too hard on to see what that was for it, but I'm excited to see what's coming down the pipeline. Obviously, for all companies, it just seems like everyone's really stepping up on everything, both the PC side on there, as well as operating systems, as well as augmented reality and virtual reality. The new console, the Scorpio's coming out. E3 is going to be amazing for a lot of companies, and we're excited to definitely cover that, break it down to help everybody understand what's going on there and what's coming.
Now, when is E3? Do they have dates yet?
I want to say June.
Okay. And
June.
when? Do you know when Build is? I can't remember.
They usually do it in October.
Oh, it's that late? I thought it was in the spring. Their developer conference?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head.
I can't remember.
I
wanted to mention Google I/O is coming up. It's actually next week. Starts on the 17th. So not next week's podcast, but the podcast after that, we'll definitely be talking about that and what
100%.
Google is doing. This is where we're expecting them to announce Android O and different features that it's going to have. I mean, obviously right now we already have a developer preview out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the beta program yet, but once we get to I/O, I'm sure it will be. And I might potentially enlist my phone into the beta program just to have it. Again,
Yes.
you can do this with the Pixel phones or Nexus devices. The downside is obviously going to be kind of buggy because it's a preview version of the operating system, but it will have some of the new features, which is always nice. I'm not expecting a whole lot out of Android O. I'm expecting more just behind the scene things.
Yeah.
Granted, that's all that's kind of there right now. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about it at I/O. Obviously.
Yes, a lot more.
And so that's something to look forward to. And then also Apple's WWDC they don't have dates set yet, at least not that they've announced, but it's going to be in June sometime. That's usually when it is.
Yes.
So that's another thing to look forward to. So I really like this time of year because this isn't usually when hardware is announced for the most part. I mean, every now and like the Surface laptop and stuff, sometimes stuff gets announced, but it's mostly for the developers and stuff like that. And I like it because that's what I look for in a phone. I mean, obviously in devices you want the good hardware and stuff like that, but you also want that really good functionality in your operating system.
Oh, always.
And that's always key for what people look for in a device, mostly. I mean, obviously there's some special circumstances where it's like, oh, I only pick a phone because of the camera, or I only pick a phone because of this or this or this. But most people, they pick a phone because of the operating system.
And that's true. I mean, it's
and
whatever.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I like Android, and I pick these phones. Like I get a Pixel because it's made by Google. It's controlled by Google. I get the updates when I want them and when Google puts them out.
Correct.
That's why I get this phone. It'd be the same reason. Like I would, if I didn't get a Pixel, I'd probably go for an iPhone before most other Android phones because of the same reason. You know, I like updates. I like the most recent stuff. And I like having what these companies give for, in their operating system.
Even just to tinker with. Like,
yeah.
Even features that they discontinue. It's just nice to mess with. And yeah,
yep, exactly.
Definitely. So it's definitely exciting. Coming up this year for us. We're just excited just to talk about it, obviously, because we're tech enthusiasts and just want to push forward in that. So, but again, I think that's going to be about it. Wraps it up. Do we have anything else?
I think that's all I got.
Awesome. Well, unfortunately, Caleb had to step out, and so that's why we haven't been hearing from him. But Milan and I will go ahead and we'll close this, and we just want to make sure everyone knows. Hopefully, you listen to this podcast this week, and just want to remind you about Mother's Day coming up this Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's always good to at least say I love you to your mother.
Yep.
Whichever. And also thank you, everyone, for your support on listening, giving us any kind of feedback. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much, and we'll definitely be pushing forward on all this other content that we're pushing forward. Obviously, we want to do more and more. And any suggestions that you would want to hear about or on a podcast, we're more than willing to talk about those things and even why. Why, if you ask us, why would I want this phone versus another or anything? Give us a question or anything on there, and we'll do our best to answer it in any kind of way we can. So, again, thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful day, night, or wherever you're listening to. Bye-bye.
See ya.